Welcome to my channel, Grow for Justice. Today, you're about to hear a story that will stay with you long after the last word fades. A story of shadows, silence, sacrifice, and of one woman who carried secrets no one believed were real. If you think you know what courage looks like, wait until you hear this. The jungle was alive that night. Humid air clung to every soldier's skin, and a heavy scent of earth and gunpowder filled the air. A Navy SEAL medic crouched beside a young woman they had taken into their unit only 3 days earlier. She had arrived without introduction, without a clear assignment, carrying nothing more than a small black rucksack slung over her shoulder. The men whispered about her. Some assumed she was an interpreter, others thought she was intelligence. Nobody dared to ask until the firefight began. Bullets cracked through the night sky, sparks flying off rocks and tree trunks. 2 men went down. The medic's hands were red with blood when he looked up to see her, not firing, not panicking, but dragging bodies out of the line of fire, laying them down, and patching wounds faster than he had ever seen. When silence returned to the jungle, he finally asked, "Where the hell did you learn to move like that?" She didn't even look up as she tightened a bandage. Her voice was soft, but it cut like steel. Ghost Division. 3,400-meter record. Those words meant little to most of the team, but to the medic they hit like thunder. Ghost Division, the unit no one admitted existed. A name spoken only in rumor. Soldiers who vanished and became something beyond human, trained for shadows, for silence, for missions that were never meant to be remembered. And a 3,400-meter record? That wasn't training. That was obsession. That was perfection. That was almost impossible. The medic froze, staring at this quiet woman who had just revealed herself as one of the deadliest assets alive. He wanted to ask more, but her eyes stopped him. They weren't cold. They weren't cruel. They were simply tired, like someone who had carried too much for far too long. The days that followed were a blur of mud, gunfire, and endless marching through the jungle. She never bragged, never explained, never slipped. She simply walked in silence, eyes scanning every shadow, hands never far from her weapon. But when the ambush came, her silence ended. Gunfire erupted from every side. The medic dove for cover, dragging a wounded SEAL with him. Through the smoke, he saw her, moving like a phantom. Calm, precise, unstoppable. Each shot she fired was measured, deliberate, lethal. 15 hostiles fell before the team even understood what was happening. When the chaos ended, one of the younger SEALs whispered in disbelief, "Who the hell are you?" She only reloaded her rifle and said quietly to the medic, "Check your wounded." And they obeyed. When their extraction was compromised days later, panic threatened to consume the team. It was she who spoke first. "There's another way," she said. Suspicion filled the air, but her steady voice cut through it. "I've done this before. I can get you out. And if I wanted you dead, you already would be." Silence followed, then the medic nodded. They followed her. Through rivers filled with leeches, over ridges sharp enough to split boots, through mud that swallowed their strength. She led them. She never faltered, never hesitated. And when danger came, she faced it without fear. But at night, when the team slept, the medic would watch her stare into the darkness, haunted by ghosts only she could see that on the 7th day. Helicopters thundered overhead. Relief flooded the soldiers' faces as they reached the safe zone. But she didn't board. "You're not coming?" the medic asked, panic in his chest. She shook her head. "Ghosts don't go home." He stepped closer, desperate. "You saved us. You belong with us." For the first time, her eyes softened. "I belong where no one remembers my name." She pressed something into his hand before slipping away into the jungle. It was a black patch, stitched with silver thread, her symbol. When they ask who saved you, she whispered, "Tell them a ghost passed through." And then she was gone, silent, unseen. Years later, the medic still carried that patch. When young recruits asked him about the bravest person he had ever met, his voice would always grow quiet. "She was trained in shadows," he would say. "She saved us when no one else could." And the last words she left me were simple. Ghost Division. 3,400-meter record. Every time he repeated it, the memory sent a chill through him, not fear, but awe. Because sometimes the greatest heroes are the ones who disappear back into the dark. And that, my friends, is the story of the woman the world never knew, but whose shadow still protects it. If this story touched you, share it with someone you care about, leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to Grow for Justice. Because stories like these deserve to live on, even when their heroes choose to remain ghosts.